So I'm recording this as much to remind myself for my next trip as for anybody else who might want to make this trip. Went to Cancun for dental implant uh, surgery. It's a lot less expensive than in the United States. Um, so, first of all, traveling to Mexico. Um, Flew American Airlines. Um, Took business class. It wasn't that much more than the economy class, so I thought that would be a more comfortable and uh, pleasant way to travel. And it didn't quite meet my expectations. I was expecting a little bit more luxury, but it still was a lot nicer than the economy seats. More spacious, stuff like that. Um, Preferential treatment. That's nice, but you do end up paying probably another 20% more than economy. So the surprises. You have to fill out a customs form and a exit visa, which they give you to start filling out just as you're getting ready to land in Mexico. Um, so that was a surprise. Also, they do not give you a pen. If you don't have a pen, it was worrisome. I thought that you had to have it filled out before you land, and they don't give you a pen. That was pretty crazy. It turns out that you can fill it out after you land, and they do have pens on like your little chain tethers at the airport when you land. The place that I chose for my implant surgery was Cancun Dental Specialist, which I don't know if they also go by Ocean Dental or if that's like the parent company, but it was. I think it was a good choice so far. I've had the implants inserted, which that's kind of the first step. They do the implants, and then you come back, 4 to 6 months later to have the actual. I don't know what they call it. They called it a superstructure, but it's basically your real. It's the teeth part of it. The implants themselves are just the screws that go into your upper and lower jaw. Anyway, kind of a segue to get back to the landing. Once we landed and finished filling out the customs and exit visa paperwork, which it wasn't extensive, but you do need to know your flight number and your address of the place that you'll be staying, and of course the airline name. You'll have to fill in your passport number and just some general information like that. And you have to fill that information out twice. There's an upper and lower section to that exit visa. You hand it to the immigration official, and they tear off the lower section, hand it back to you. You'll need that to get back out of the country. Then after you get through that, then you go to the customs line, which is just before you exit the airport. I had medication with me, and I wasn't sure how to fill in the form for that. When I got to the customs official, he saw that it was unchecked and just waved me on. So I still don't know whether you need to check that for importing for having pharmaceuticals with you when you come in. But the rest of the stuff is like having any produce or live animals, anything dangerous. They don't want that. And then on exiting the airport, they had the dental office had a transport waiting for me. They said to look for the logo of the transport company, which was not on the van. And the van was not where they said it was going to be, but people around the airport, the exit of the airport, very friendly, very helpful, and they were able to point me right to where the van was. Van took me directly to the dental specialist office, and I was expecting the surgery the first day, but all they did the first day was just an evaluation. They did the 3D imaging of my jaw to make sure that everything was going to work out well without having to do a sinus lift or bone grafts. They determined they wouldn't have to do either of those. After the after the x-ray, they took me to see a dentist, orthodontist, and he did a physical examination, and they took some pictures, kind of, so they have a before and after, and after that, they kind of consulted with me whether I wanted to do the fixed screw-in type implants, or there's another kind that you can get where the denture, it kind of has a snap-on denture that goes onto the implants. And I decided to go with the fixed ones because the snap-on style still has some movement, and they're made to where you can detach them yourself and clean them yourself. But once again, I wanted ones that were going to not move at all. Just for greater comfort. I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. I'll follow up here once I have the rest of it done to let you know. Okay, so after that, they wanted to get half of the cost of the procedure paid in advance. So I went ahead and did that. The total cost for the implants, and it's just the implants, was about $9,500, $9,400. It was $900 per implant, and they did 10 of them. So I think, including the sedation, they did it's a conscious sedation, but you're completely out of it. So, I mean, you're awake enough to follow commands, but not awake enough to really remember or understand anything else that's going on. It's evidently kind of zombie-like experience, but again, aside from what people tell me, I don't really know because I don't remember any of it. Before they started the actual implant part of it, they requested the other half of the payment, and so that's close to $10,000 for 10 implants, and then another $10,000 for the superstructure, which includes the actual physical teeth that you'll chew with. So yeah, pretty easy going. People are very friendly here, and you hear a lot of horror stories about all the crime, scams and stuff, which I did get scammed once. uh, gave me a sample of tequila, and it was really really good. And then I said, I'll take a small bottle of that, and then I made the mistake of not asking the price before handing them my credit card, and it was $100 for a tiny, it's maybe a half liter of flavored tequila. So, yeah, my mistake. Anyway, everything else has been very cheap. It's currently it's about 12 pesos to ride the entire route on the bus. The entire, pretty much all the way from the city to the end of the hotel zone. So 12 pesos, it comes out to currently about 60 cents. It's about 5 cents to a peso. So that's kind of it for now. Will advise that, especially if you're a lone single guy walking the sidewalk in kind of the middle of the hotel zone, you'll get proposition for female companionship pretty commonly. They'll be a lot more blunt with it, but they aren't pushy about it. So you just tell them no and keep walking. No big deal. So I think that's about it for now. Might try and get some interviews with the staff. Most of them speak passable English. Some are pretty fluent English. I did actually see the orthodontist that kind of the main orthodontist, which I forget her name right offhand, but she trained in Michigan and was licensed and everything. Part of the ADA, at least in the States. So she was there. She kind of supervises over the staff. She didn't do my procedure. I don't know if she does any procedures herself anymore, or if she just oversees it. But I did see her there, which was comforting to know. Checking up on her credentials and everything. Okay, so as far as the experience of having the implants done, had them done. They were put in yesterday. You don't get narcotics after your visit. They prescribe non-narcotic pain relievers, ibuprofen and naproxen. So if you're desiring to have something stronger, bring it with you, because it's evidently pretty restricted here. That being said, it's been enough for me. It's 600 milligram ibuprofen is what they prescribed. The cost of prescriptions here is extremely cheap. I think I paid maybe $3 for the ibuprofen and the antibiotics. So not bad there. It is very painful. I put my dentures back in today. I tried them last night. It just was too painful last night, and it still is too painful to try and chew anything more solid than like a soft muffin or a piece of cake, which it's not exactly healthy, but it's about as solid a food as you're probably going to be able to handle. So I keep that in mind. Maybe stock up on some liquid nutritional supplements. Sorry if I keep saying So yeah, And this is like the end of the second day after having my procedure. The procedure was, I think it was about an hour, hour and a half. Um, Not that I remember a whole lot. They did have somebody bring me back to my hotel. Um, they said they were going to have a nurse kind of stay with me the whole rest of the day, which that didn't happen. Sorry, I'm kind of getting a bit of a cold, I think. Um, yeah, I was definitely out of it after the appointment yesterday, and then today it's pretty well recovered. The bleeding stopped from the procedure probably this morning, early this morning, late last night. Uh, so I guess that's it for now, and maybe I'll post this now and see if I can get some staff interviews or anything like that um, before I leave. All right, see you later.